What is up? We are back here on I'm going to get it right this time. You ready? It's the From Drinking to Thinking Buds. See, I did my research this time. You can't yell at me. It took me 3 episodes in, but I finally figured it out.
I'm pretty sure
Mike,
it's still wrong.
well, it's not wrong.
You didn't from drinking buds to thinking buds. You say
Now,
buds
no, no,
twice.
no, 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 no. Now you're mixing it up on me because there was no multiple buds in there. It was from drinking to thinking buds.
Okay.
Oh my God, do we have to fact check 5 seconds into the recording here? This is absolutely insane. Anyway, let's let's get into the nitty-gritty.
Nailed it. Absolutely crushing it.
For those of you joining, if this is your first time, I am one of your co-hosts here, Hogan. I'm with my buddy Mike. We are just a couple of dudes that used to get a little too sauced up, liquored up, whatever you want to call it. And now we're old, stinky white farts. I don't know why I call this white farts. That just came out weird. But anyway, we just think about stuff, and then sometimes we just word vomit everywhere, and that's kind of what the whole point of this podcast is. And today, actually, kind of on the nose with it, we were talking how we want to discuss maybe like embarrassing shit, and obviously I embarrassed myself at just how awful that beginning was for this podcast. Mike, why don't we just roll into this? What do you got going on? For those of you watching on YouTube, when you're watching this, what's up with your hand? What do you got on there?
Well, I don't know how well you're going to be able to see it, but this one's a little bit more sparkly, so you might be able to see some glitter in them. This one is mainly just pink. But yeah, I just instinctively, my niece was in town and she's like, Uncle Mike, I want to paint your nails. And I was like, okay, like this is fine. We're at grandma's house. She's definitely going to have stuff to remove it. And as soon as she gets done caking on my fingers, I'm like, hey, Mom, where's your nail polish remover? She goes, I don't have nail polish remover anymore. I threw all that stuff out. And I was like, oh, shit. And then I looked at my sister. I was like, oh, no, I got to try to go wash them. And she's like, no. She's like, I got this like crazy, like instant, quick drying nail polish. So that way, like, she doesn't ruin it immediately. So now I'm just stuck with it. I actually just, right before the call, my landlord was banging on my door. I texted him and was like, hey, quick question. Here's a picture. I need nail polish remover. Does your wife have any? So he's just hysterically laughing. Him and his wife are like, yeah, that's hilarious. And I'm like, yeah, no, like, I don't think things through enough, or maybe we're just getting too old that we don't like think anything through anymore. Like, I don't know. I just thought I had like a backdoor exit. I was like, yeah, I'll just wash my hands real quick and it'll be probably like, I'll be fine. And no, I've just been scratching and trying to get these things off. So hopefully this nail polish remover will work. Apparently I'm going to need a lot. So.
Well, if it makes you feel better, actually, as you were talking about it with nail polish and all that and makeup, and it got me thinking back to some like funny, embarrassing stuff for myself too. And one story that I always think of was I did my senior class play in high school. Actually, we did a production of South Pacific, and I had a blast. It was great. I somehow learned how to somewhat sing a little bit, dance, and do all this stuff. Yeah, it was wild.
Wow.
No, not to the extent that you're thinking. I'm not breaking it down on the dance floor anytime soon or anything, but it was like we actually did like a whole, like it was a stage play.
No, I'm just surprised that you were in a play. Not saying there's anything wrong with it. I just,
yeah,
if somebody would have like, hey, was your friend ever in this? I'd be like, no. And it's like, oh no, it was in high school.
In high school, yeah, it was the senior. So that was a big thing. Is every year the seniors would do the senior class play, and it would always be based off of like one of the old, like either was it Broadway or like one of those things like they did Bye Bye Birdie. I think my sophomore year. I don't remember what they did junior year. Fiddler on the Roof, maybe that sounds familiar. And then we did South Pacific my senior year, and yours truly had the role of Stew Pot, who had a voice like this, and it was
I have no idea what South Pacific is. So
if you get a chance, look it up. It's one of the, like I said, it's an old musical. It's where I'm gonna wash that man right out of my hair came from. That's where it came from. That song came from that play, which was turned it was turned into a movie. Regardless, it's from the 50s. Yeah. It's an old like funny movie. Well, not funny, but you get what I'm saying. Regardless, way off track at this point. No, I did the play, and part of it was that you had to do makeup for the play, and that was one thing is they actually had to do like some of the stuff like eyeliner and all that, because it's something that had to make your face like, I couldn't just my natural beauty, as you guys see right now, I couldn't have this just be itself on stage. People would have been like, oh God, what is that? So they had to do like makeup. It was like eyeliner and different stuff. And I had to actually use like fake the tanning lotion that you had to put on to make it seem like I was actually like in the South Pacific, because it's like I'm supposed to be a sailor at sea kind of thing. And for like 3 days, I could not get this makeup off my face. So I'm walking around high school, senior year, just eyeliner, the lashes, and all that. Like I don't remember if I had like lipstick. It wasn't like lipstick. It was like to have like a different shade or whatever. And like I could not get it off. And for like 3 days, I was just strutting around high school, just being like, oh, look at this dude wearing like pounds of makeup. It's like big bad like football player Hogan over there walking around with makeup and looking like a fucking clown. And I was just like, well, it is what it is. It's for the betterment of the play. I can't argue it. And it was a blast. I don't regret it for a second, but I just remember some of the looks I got where I was just like, oh, why did I do this?
Hey man, it sounds like was it at least like, I guess, like perceived well? Like, did they say the play was good?
Yeah. No, I mean, it was a lot of fun. And the fact that it was my first and only, what is it, acting experience, I guess you would call it. I mean, I've done goofy stuff before, like home videos and those kind of things, like for projects and school plays and our school stuff, but like I've never like done anything of like actual, like there was like, we had a director, we had like production people, like it was like legit, like even though it was high school, like people like came to see the play and we like charged money for it and stuff. Like it was a whole thing. So like it was like legit. And actually the one crazy part to me was like when I auditioned for it, because we had to audition too, and that was like I remember that was a wild thing. Was they had me audition for the third title main character. So there were 4 or 5 characters in the play that were like the stars,
Not
like
trees.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that's the best way you can put it. Yeah, not grass, not trees, not rocks. They were like the people that like if you like if you go to see a movie, it's like, oh, starring Brad Pitt, Angelina Jolie, blah, 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 blah. Like it was like those were like the people, like so we had some people that did like real acting, like stage plays, like acting, like whatever. Like some of those people actually like are in New York right now, in LA and stuff like that. Like I actually know for a fact that like they did that, and the director liked me so much because I was just there to be like, fuck it, let's see what happens. Like, I'm not like, this is not like a career path for me. This is just something that was like, I just wanted to do it because it seemed like it was going to be fun. And I did it and they liked it. Like I said, they liked it so much that they were like, oh, audition for this role too. And I auditioned for it. And I obviously didn't get it, but it was like the fact that they even like considered it, where they were just like, yeah, try out for like one of the main characters. I was like, I don't even know what the fuck I'm doing right now, but this is cool or whatever. And it was just the whole thing, the way that it went down, it was really like fun and cool. Like I definitely don't regret doing it. But that being said, embarrassing as hell to walk around just fully caked on makeup on my face for, like I said, for like 4 or 5 days, and I could not get it off. And finally the girls were like, all right, he had like been tortured enough, we'll help him out.
Well, if you had like if it was just like a lot of eyeliner, I mean, we were in the where you could have just like emoed out for a couple of days.
That's true. Yeah, I would have gone really well with my black nail polish.
Yeah, just real sad and just like, oh, I hate my life.
I mean, if only I wasn't like balding when I was that young too. I could have like pulled my hair over and just been like, what is it, like angry angst Tobey Maguire from Spider-Man 3. That's what I always think of when I think of like super emo, when he's like doing his little dance down the street where he's like, yeah, I'm Venom and I'm badass. And it's like, you're a douchebag. That's what you are. That's what that is. All right.
No, that was a cool, interesting fact. I would probably, if we weren't doing this podcast, I would have never known that. So
it's funny actually, because we were talking beforehand where you were like, oh, think of some like embarrassing stories, and immediately I went to like how many times I blacked out and got drunk and like did like stupid shit. And then I was just like, when you were talking about the nail polish and you couldn't get like makeup off, and I was like, holy shit, I forgot about that time in high school where I would like, and ironically, like Ashley and I watched South Pacific like a couple weeks ago, right before I got rid of YouTube TV, because she's like, I want to watch an old movie, and I saw South Pacific, and I was like, hey, that's the play I did. And she's like, you what?
Oh, so she didn't know either. Okay.
I think I told her at one point, but it was like she had never seen the movie that it was based off of, so she was just like, oh, what is this? And we started watching it, and then like ironically, she hates musicals. So she's like, "Why the fuck are we watching a musical?" I was like, "That's what it is. What did you expect?" But no, what do you got? I guess if we can go where we're now, we hit our makeup quota for talking about that in this episode. What do you got for like drinking? Do you have anything that you can like disclose with our audience from when our drinking days of like what was embarrassing?
Well, it's funny because now I initially was going to talk about how my toenails got painted while I was blacked out, but now I'm debating on since you were talking about makeup being stuck on you, this is like technically it didn't happen to me, but I witnessed it and it was one of the weirdest experiences of my life. And that was in college, and I'm pretty sure probably the kids were drunk when they did it. So we lived in an all male dorm, and my girlfriend came to visit. So this was sophomore year. And
Okay.
all of a sudden she walks into we're walking down the hallway to go to the bathroom since it's like all men, there's no women's bathroom. So she felt
Yeah.
like uncomfortable. She's right in front of me. She walks in, about faces, and just runs like back down and was like, oh my God. And just ran to my room that was down the hall. And I'm like, what just happened? And I start to get like a smell coming out of the bathroom. And I'm like, what the fuck? Also, our floor was like all track guys, so like we all knew each other.
Yep.
I pushed into the bathroom, and there's 4 naked distance guys. Just like, you know how monkeys pick like fleas and ticks off of each other? They were standing one in front of the other and like completely naked, just staring at me at the door, wide-eyed and like their mouths open, and they're all like maroon. And I'm like, what the fuck are you guys doing? And they just looked at me and they were like, was that your girlfriend? And I'm like, yeah. They were like, we're so sorry she had to see this. I was like, she'll be okay. What is going on right now? They're like, oh, well, we had regionals for this. Yeah. So I think I said they're cross country kids. So they had regionals and they were like, oh, let's paint our bodies to go to support the other guys. And I guess whoever was in charge of buying the paint wasn't like, oh, I'll go buy body paint. He just went and bought like Sherman-Williams paint. So they painted themselves and then realized they were like, oh shit, we can't get it off. So they tried. Our bathroom, the front was like where the toilets and the sinks were, and then it was like a little turnaround, like you walked around and that's where the showers were. So I guess they tried to shower and they freaked out because it wasn't coming off like at all. So they're like, oh shit, what are we going to do? So one of them drove to the hardware store, and I think it was either acetone or paint thinner.
Oh my God.
And they started rubbing it on themselves. And then they realized that in doing so, it was coming off of their torso, but then it was started to like go down their legs and was hardening on their legs. So then they're like, so we had to like start rubbing each other completely naked. And I just was like, Jesus Christ. I'm like, I got to go do damage control on my girlfriend because she's never going to come ever again. I can only imagine what it's like being like a girl being like, okay, I'm a little freaked out about going into the men's room. Like maybe something bad won't happen or someone will be going to the bathroom. And then there's just 5 dudes just smells terrible, just rubbing each other and then just looking and turning at her mortified.
Wax on, wax up. No, not that kind of. Yeah, no. I thought originally when you started telling that story, I thought you were going to talk about the time that a couple of our track buddies, and I will not mention them by name to save them some dignity, shaved their legs, and turned out to regret that decision tremendously from the razor burn and everything else that they had to deal with on that.
No, not that. No, not that. Just walking in on 5 naked guys, just I guess monkey chaining. I don't know what you would even call it, but just lathering each other, dude. It was so weird, and I knew them, and I was friends with them, and I'm like, it still like is engraved into my head.
I remember that. Yeah, no, I distinctly remember that. I mean, there was another funny story about that bathroom too that I love telling 1,000 times over. Our buddy Tom, and I will not disclose his last name again, but he knows exactly who he is because I love telling this story. Was the time that we came back from the track meet and everybody was in the showers, and there was one specific shower at the very end that everybody knew that was, no matter what, it was like somebody just like dumped a thing of lube in there every single time, and you could not get any traction whatsoever. And I forget, you guys were all doing like the steam thing that you always did to set off the fire alarms and go crazy and all that. and I was trying to make an announcement or something because I was also I was the RA plus the captain at the time, so I had to tell you guys something. So you guys are all in the showers, and I just was standing there, just I was saying whatever I had to say, and Tom was in the slippery shower. I just remember hearing, "Oh shit!" and the shower curtain just bursts open. Tom falls out on all fours, butt ass naked on the ground, and just looks up at me like, and just in pure panic, like jumps back up, wraps the like shower curtain around him, and dives back in there. And I was just like, I couldn't breathe. I was laughing so hard because it was just so unexpected, and the noise he made was just like the funniest thing I think I've ever heard. Oh my god.
I don't know, dude. There's something about being naked and vulnerable that is so funny. and I don't know, man. Just dicks in general are funny too. Like,
oh my god.
It's Tom.
Tom of all people too. That's why it makes me laugh so hard, because he was just such a clown in general. But like, oh my god. But no, I think honestly, we could sit here for hours and just tell like some of the stories that you and I went through with college. I mean, like the biggest thing, like one funny one that we touched on actually last week, that we briefly mentioned, that was embarrassing, that had nothing to do with alcohol in general, was our squirrel story. And I'll let you, if you want to divulge into that, if you remember what happened.
No, our campus, we went to Springfield College, and their squirrel population is crazy. There's
out of control.
There's so many of them, and they don't give a shit. Like they'll just like, you could probably feed them from your hand if you wanted to. Like
crazy tree rats.
Yeah, and we were walking back from, I guess, the dining hall.
No, we were going to it. We were going to Cheney.
Going to it?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, I'm like, hey, look, a baby squirrel. And I was like, oh, no, a mama squirrel. And all of a sudden, the baby started chasing me. So I'm like, oh, no, like, this mom is going to lose its shit if, like, I go near its kid. So I'm
bite
just,
you
like,
or something. Yeah.
Sprinting. And then Hogan turns around and he's like, where are you going? And all of a sudden, he turns around and he was like, oh, shit. And just, like, started booking it with me.
It was so distinctively. I remember like we were walking and you just like you said something, and then I just see you take off, and I'm like, where are you going? And then I look down and I'm like, oh, hey, a baby squirrel. And then like it's hopping towards me, and then like you said, like the mama squirrel was over behind it, and I'm like, hey, what are you doing? And then like I start taking off. You see like two massive dudes just sprinting through campus trying to get away from like peanut squirrels, and it's just like I don't know. I mean, I'm not embarrassed by that. I mean, at the time, I was probably like, this is embarrassing if like I'm being seen by like the football team walking by or something, being like, you're really afraid of like baby squirrels and stuff. But at the time, it's like, now I'm like, all right, that was ridiculous. And it's funny because Ashley just loves feeding squirrels next to our house, and I just call them tree rats all the time.
Like throwing things at them, like from a distance, or like trying to hand feed squirrels?
Well, she would try and hand feed them 100%. They would never. Thankfully, they're not like Springfield squirrels, so they wouldn't take it out of her hand. But yeah, she's always putting peanuts and shit out there, and it's just like our dog Maverick is just like, oh, food for me, and I'm like, no, dude, don't eat the tree rat stuff. Don't do that. Just leave it alone. I was like, if anything, I wish you would just chase them and they would go away. That way, a little bit of payback for the trauma that you and I went through with our squirrel encounter.
Yeah, like I guess a little bit of PTSD probably. But yeah, like it's weird because now like I feel like I have like a whole bunch of funny dick stories, and then I still have the nail polish one that I was going to talk about. Was freshman year. This was a drinking one. Blacked out in this girl's room, passed out.
Mm-hmm.
Woke up, like thought nothing of it. Put like, now I'm thinking about it. I guess they put. I don't think I fell asleep barefoot. I think they took my socks off and must have put them back on. So it was like, I think like ran to classes, did everything I had to do the rest of the day. And then I was like, ooh, long day. And I went to go like sit on my bed. I took off my shoes and I went to go take off my socks, and they weren't coming off. They were just connected to the toenails. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on with this right now? And I'm yanking, and I'm like, I can't get these things off. Finally, I get them off, and I just see that, like, I'm like, oh no. I'm like, all my toes are completely painted. And just like, obviously, I didn't have nail polish remover at the time. And I was like, all right. So I took a screwdriver to my nails and
Ah,
and scuffed them off. And the girl was like, she's like, oh, like, do you need nail polish remover? I was like, you did it. She's like, yeah. She's like, it was hilarious. And then I think there's pictures on like probably on my Facebook of like her smiling next to like my toes that are like all pink and stuff. And
nice.
she's like, you're a psycho. Why would you use a screwdriver? I'm like, what else was I going to use? I don't know. So I just tried to get it off.
Dude, we got it. Dudes, we just do things that we need to do when it comes to like figuring things out at the end of the day. I don't know. We're cavemen. We're just instinctively cavemen, and we're just gonna find something and just like again, you put us somewhere and it's like give us a stick and a rock and we'll find a way to have a good time. That's just like how things happen. But so I don't blame you in the slightest for trying to use a screwdriver because I probably would have done something similar. I'm just thinking pain wise, I feel like that wouldn't have felt like tremendous if you I mean, you just gouge your toe or something like
I
that with
mean,
that.
as long as you don't have like as long as you don't hit the cuticle, you've never had like, especially like with us lifting, you never damaged like had like dropped the weight on your toe and like
Oh yeah.
and then your like toenail turned black.
Oh yeah. No. I mean, I had it where,
And
well, yeah, I was gonna say
did,
football. I got stomped on one time. My toenail like cracked in half down the middle.
but
Yeah.
it because one of our roommates told me that like, oh, you have to relieve the pressure under it. So like I got a bobby pin and heated it and poked it through the nail to like get rid of some of the pressure,
Yeah.
which worked a little bit until we were at the beach and all of a sudden somebody freaked out because they thought like my foot got bitten by a shark because the nail dug into the sand and like a wave
Oh.
pushed me and I was very intoxicated, so I didn't feel anything. And
Yep.
then I got out of the water and all of a sudden my foot was just crazy bloody and they're like, what bit you? And I was like, oh no, my toenail got completely ripped off of my body. I was like,
You
oh,
should have been like, it
shit.
was a rabid seagull, and just like go crazy and start running around. Just be like, ah, fucking seagulls everywhere. Nah.
It's a shark. Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to yell shark at the beach. It's such a bad idea.
It really is. Um, well, you brought up being intoxicated, so now I feel like we got to switch gears and really think about. I mean, the times that we can remember when we were drinking, but like for embarrassing stories. I can probably take the lead on this one where if I remember correctly, and you're gonna know exactly what night I'm talking about, hospital night with the lemonade and the water jug.
Oh, yucca.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you. I couldn't remember the name of it. Yucca.
I don't remember hospital though.
They chanted hospital.
Oh, when we were going around the table.
Yeah, yeah. That was probably the worst one that I remember somewhat because it was in and out, but just you and me chugging from that thing for like more than 10 seconds compared to everybody else. And I remember just like
Do you
finishing
remember
it.
what it was?
It was, I know it was a ton of
For
vodka.
people listening, they just hear yucca and they're
Oh,
like, I
that's
don't
right.
know what
Yeah,
that means.
yeah, yeah. It would make sense. Go ahead, because I don't remember all of it.
So the distance kids used to drink like crazy too, and they used to do something that was called a yucca night, and they would take a
Mhm.
5-gallon jug of water, like that you put into like a stand, and then they would put it was grain alcohol. I think it was like
I thought it was a Tito.
what
Was it Tito's or I was gonna
I
say I
thought it
remember it was a ton of vodka.
I thought it was like Everclear, like it was poison. I think it was like 2 or 3 handles of that. It was like 20. It was like a big bag of ice. I think it was
Sugar.
like a big thing of sugar, 20 lemons cut up, 20
Yep.
limes cut up.
Yep.
And then they like duct taped the top of it. And we went around as a group and we just kept shaking it until like everything kind of mixed together and all the ice melted. So literally we're just in a line until your arms like were, and there was like the game was now we just sit at a table and we just slide it around and you just keep chugging as much as you can and passing it to the left until the entire 5-gallon thing is gone.
And we did it with like there was at least like 20 of us there. I remember that. And then yeah, I remember like
I don't
nobody
remember any of it.
I just remember like you and I drank from it the longest because of course we were like, oh, we're big and we're badass and we gotta show everybody how much we can drink. And that's when they started chanting hospital for you and me. And then we finished it. And I remember I had beers at the time thinking like, oh, I'm gonna need these for afterwards. And it's just like it was like the light switch just boop, went out where all of a sudden I was just out. I was gone. And I distinctively remember waking up upstairs in that townhouse and just being like, "Yep, this was not a good time." And it was like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and I think Jack had to like almost like carry me back to alumni if that was where we were at the time.
Yeah, that I I
That was
completely
embarrassing. That was
yeah.
embarrassing as shit.
I mean, I didn't. I mean, we probably did embarrassing stuff, but I don't remember it.
That's what I
But,
mean. I just looking back, I'm embarrassed that we got chanted hospital visit or whatever the hell it was for us for us drinking from
I
that.
think it was just yelling hospital just over and over again.
Hospital, hospital. That's what I'm pretty sure the distance kids were chanting the whole time.
Oh my god. Yeah, dude. I forgot about that one. The one in the most embarrassing one that I was thinking of was not in college. I think it was like a year later. Do you know what SantaCon is or Leprechaun
Yeah,
or
yeah,
ever
yeah,
heard?
yeah.
Yeah. So they have a Leprechaun in Hoboken, New Jersey. Great place. Place is a shithole. And me and all my buddies were like, "Hey, why don't we only drink Long Island iced teas today? Like that's it. That's the only thing we're gonna order. We're gonna get a bunch of them before we go out and pregame. Get stuff for Long Island iced teas, and we're just gonna only drink LITs." So stupid. I don't know how I'm not dead. And we were at this one bar, and it was so crowded. And this was like around the time that like Guido dancing was like big, like fist bumping and
Hmm.
like because the Jersey Shore was
Jersey
like
Shore. I was
big
gonna
on
say,
TV.
yeah.
And I'm the only Italian one out of my friends, and I also dance. Like I've probably been in like 50 or 60 dance battles in my life. And this one Guido starts fist bumping and like two stepping and shit in this the middle of a crowd. And my buddy, a different Tom from home, is like hyping me up. He's like rubbing my shoulders like I'm getting ready to like fight. He's like, "You're gonna let this Italian guy show you up in New Jersey?" And I'm like, "No, I'm not gonna let him show me up." And he's like, "Chug that Long Island iced tea and get out there and show him who's fucking boss." And I was like, "All right," and I pound it and like give him like a big high five, and he pushes me into this group. So I'm just dance battling this like 6'3" uh Italian dude, and we're just fist bumping and shit, doing all these weird dance moves. And I'm like, all right, time for me to crush this dude. And I was like, I'm gonna break out the worm. I go to do the worm, and the music just shuts off.
Oh
It's
no.
like the pin drop silent. So now I'm like, it's hitting what I'm doing. It's the middle of Leprechaun. I'm pissed drunk. I'm in the full green like suit. I'm trying to do the worm, but now that the music cut, I'm just laying on the ground, and the ground is filthy. Like there had to have been through this bar thousands of people that have just gone through there in the day, and just the amount of mixed drinks and shit. And I just got up, and I just was like, "What the fuck?" And I just walked right out of the bar and like sat in the back alley, and I was just like, "What is my life?" And my buddy Tom comes out, and he's like, "That was kind of rough, wasn't it? A little embarrassing." I was like, "A little embarrassing." I was like, there was 300 eyes on me, just staring at this guy just laying on this dirty floor. It was a mess.
I immediately got like visions of the dance battle between Stifler and the guy in the gay bar or whatever in American Wedding. And I was
Yeah,
envisioning that with like the music cutting out and just you being like, what the fuck?
yeah, dude, it's a totally different scenario once the music's gone. Like it like when they show like the people are like what are the silent things where they have the headphones in? It's like a silent
The
disco or
soundproof
whatever.
or whatever. Oh yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's you walk by, it looks really weird.
Hmm.
But like if music was blaring, you'd be like, oh, okay, like I get that.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I'm trying to think. So we obviously went over some like stories for you and I individually. What do we have for you and me specific? Because I'm trying to think of, we got one I can remember from freshman year was when you and I got drunk and we were stumbling over to the townhouses. And it's funny, our team captain, Dom, who was was he an RA or RD? No, he was an RA because you couldn't be an RD when you were still in school or whatever. But
I wouldn't know.
he was helping Talbot with the townhouses, remember?
Yeah, it's a senior
And
living.
yeah, and Talbot was well, we called him like we thought he was like fat and slow, but he was actually like super fast, and he like had like this like big thing where we are like, yeah, we can outrun him, and it's like he's actually really fast, and it's like, oh, okay. And you and I just like stumbling drunk like towards like the townhouse that we were gonna go party at, the track townhouse, and they like see like I remember it was like Talbot and Dom see you and Dom just like, hey Mike, hey Hogan, you guys probably shouldn't be here. And we were like, oh, okay, yeah, that we'll turn around, we'll head right back. Our dumbasses like walk like was like not even like 30 feet away from them, and like we tried to we went in hidden bushes or something like that, and like they just like came over and they're like, guys, like what are you doing? Like go back right
we
now.
watched you go into the bushes.
Pretty much like that's exactly what happened, and it was just like, oh fuck you, Talbot, we can outrun you. And it's just like, no, that's not how that goes. Just go back to your dorm, like the party's over. And then I remember you and I was like, okay, like configure what we're gonna do. And I think we went like 100 feet further this time, went into more bushes, and then like they walked past us, didn't notice us, and we just went to the party anyway. So
Hey, just got to commit to the bushes. Just try a different bush.
hey, it worked. That was the biggest thing. And I remember, if I remember right, well, I barely remember, of course, because I barely remember half the shit we did when we drank that much. But like, it was fun. Between freshman year and senior year, just an absolute blast all around. I mean, like I said, I don't regret anything. I regret a few things. I don't regret the times that we had with that stuff. But yeah, that was funny as hell.
No, there's a lot of things I regret. Like there's a lot of things that I'm definitely embarrassed and ashamed of, but it was definitely an interesting learning experience, kind of like getting like thrown headfirst into
One thing,
into that.
one thing I was gonna say that wasn't really like, I don't know, I wouldn't consider this embarrassing. I remember the roommates were mad at us, was the night that the fight broke out in our townhouse our senior year, and you and me were like upstairs playing like Mario Kart,
Yeah.
and they were like, we were the two biggest guys in the house, and then our roommates were just like duking it out downstairs, and we were just like, we're gonna drink and drive Mario Kart upstairs and just not have anything to do with it. And it's like the two biggest guys in the house is like, what the hell's happening right now? And they were so mad at us. That's another one that I remember that was really funny. But again, I wouldn't say it was embarrassing. It was embarrassing because our roommates took care of business. They kicked the shit out of those guys. I think a surfboard got thrown at some point. I distinctively remember that.
Yeah, no, there was a lot of chaos around that time. I honestly wish I could remember like more. But and it's funny that I say that after you just said something about yucca, and I'm like, man, I'm so glad I forgot about that situation.
I didn't.
Yeah,
It's mostly because I remember up until the point that I don't remember. And that's the problem, is it's like, it wasn't even like a brownout, like slowly getting to that point. It was just like, I remember. And then the lights were out. And I remember waking up being like, what the hell did I just do to myself? And I mean, again, it's one of those things where like I said, we talked about it. We drank and we did such stupid shit. And I'm so glad that I'm not that person anymore. But I also like, I have mixed feelings on it, because it was like, that part of me is something I treasure and remember. And I also, like I said, I look at him with disdain as well too, because I'm just like, you fucking idiot. Like you said earlier in this episode, you're like, how am I alive right now? That's how I feel sometimes where we're talking about this shit. Granted, that squirrel could have killed me just as easily as the yucca, but
yeah, well, that's like a lot more playful. Like getting blacked out like 5 days a week is a lot, and
right.
it's especially like when you're trying to figure yourself out. It's like it's pretty strange. Yeah, I don't know. I still to this day have a lot of guilt and a lot of shame that I've tried to like work through with some of that. So like as much as like these stories are funny, and I've got like a million of them, like I've had to like basically like have these conversations with like my therapist now to like not shame myself and be like, hey, you were a kid, you were figuring things out. Like it's cool to just like not be so like upset about certain stuff. So I mean it's there's definitely some like really funny parts, but I guess I'm saying that to not over like fantasize it a little bit. Like there are repercussions to actions, and like, yeah, these things are funny now, but at the time, like it probably shouldn't have done some of the stuff that we did, even though a lot of it was harmless. But there are like certain situations that you could get yourself in that are pretty fishy. And I guess So I don't know if it seems like you don't deal with that as much as I guess I do.
I mean, like I said, I look at some of the stuff that we did again where I regret the choices I made that led to like what ended up happening in terms of like how much I drank and like again, like one thing that I had a great conversation with our buddy Tom. This was years ago now, but I remember he just asked me, he goes, could you imagine what we could have been as like athletes or students or whatever if we didn't drink? And that kind of like put things in like really like big perspective for me because I was like, holy shit, like maybe I would have lifted better. Maybe I would have, you know, been more serious about certain classes that would have led to me meeting somebody in my, you know, the profession that I wanted to go into, or maybe I would have thrown the shot put 5 feet further than I ended up doing and could have been going to, you know, not nationals, but something else. Just hypothetical shit, right?
Yeah.
But it's one of those things that I always think back now and I go, oh man, like again, imagine if I took shit more seriously than I did, where it was just like, hey, you're in college, you're here to party. Yeah, but also no, you're not. You're there to become who you're gonna be for the rest of your life, kind of thing. So it's not that, I mean, like I said, I try to focus on the positives in terms of like, yeah, remember
Yeah.
this really funny story. This was great. This was a good time. Like we drank a lot. We did this. But the reservations are still there in terms of like we had bad nights. Like trust me, there were nights where I was miserable, where I felt shitty as hell waking up, or I was like, what am I doing with myself right now? You know what I mean? Like I've had plenty of those in terms of, I mean, Christ, that's not college only. That's going like I had again going back to like I talked about my job in the previous episodes,
Yeah.
like like I had nights where I was just like, what am I doing right now? Like, is this really my life? Where am I content being this fucking miserable day in and day out? Where the happiest I told my doctor, like you're saying you talked to your therapist. I felt like I had like a therapy session with my doctor at one point because I went and saw her and she was just like, how are you doing? And I was like, honestly, I don't really know. And she's like, well, what do you mean by that? And I'm like, the best part of my day is like when I walk out of work where I don't have to be there anymore. And she was just like, why do you keep going? And I'm like, because I have to sustain my life, to do what I'm doing, blah, 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 blah. And it's just like, and again, I know getting way off topic here, but it's still, I just want to say like, and by no means like if especially if anybody out there is dealing with whether they're, you know, drinking issues or anything like that, like it's certainly something to sit down and think about whether over time you want to actually like continue down the path you're going, or you can make decisions to stop doing things. Like again, Mike, you're sober now, like,
Yeah.
and then on top of that too, like I had, guilty as charged, I had a margarita yesterday because we went out for Mexican food and it was delicious. But like before that,
Give me a Rita.
but before that, I couldn't tell you the last time I like, I think it's been like a few months or something like that. Like going back to like maybe at some point in football season or something else. I don't remember when the last time I had a regular drink. And even then I had the one margarita and that was it.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess just as far as like that goes with college though, is that like I don't know about now, but I feel like drinking and like screwing was like over amplified and like everything that we watched and what like was on TV and movies. As much as like when I was a kid, I'm like, I'm not influenced by TV, movies, and music. That's ridiculous. I'm my own person. But then realistically, as soon as I got to college, I was like, okay, time to get laid a lot and get really messed up. And I succeeded in doing both of those things. But that I guess that's like the place to do it. Like when you're a child and you're around like other kids and everybody's kind of doing like some either hood rat shit, like to some extent, and like making mistakes. So it's just like even with like this podcast, like that's why I wanted like from drinking to thinking is that like okay, like we could talk about some funny things, but then also as we've gotten older, there's some like real problems that happen that like people don't really talk about, especially
Mm.
when it comes to like there's a real like Pavlovian effect to at least like me, but I've talked to like my cousins about it and stuff and some of my buddies that like being in college and having every fun moment revolve around alcohol, there's like that effect of like, oh, I need alcohol to have fun.
Right.
And like if I want to calm down, I need to have a drink. And if I need to like so once that becomes like a really like habit where you can't calm down or have fun without a drink, like you might have to kind of like assess and be like, do I really need this, or is this just like a programming in my brain type of thing? Because that, I guess that's the relationship I had, is that I always thought I had to like, oh, if I'm gonna have fun and relax, I need a drink. And then I was like, yeah, I don't think that's really the truth. I think that's just a habit that's kind of like learned.
It
So
no, 100% is, because that's a big thing. Is like I said, it's even to this day. I mean, Ashley and I are at the point where, like I said, we hardly drink, and if we do, it's like maybe one socially. But like again, I don't we don't go crazy with stuff, and that's the thing, is people always ask us like, oh well, you know, it reminds me of that movie, The Wrong Missy. I don't know if you've seen it or not,
yeah, I have.
where you know, where David Spade right off the bat, he was like, oh, I don't drink, and she's like, what'd you do, what happened, why aren't oh, Mr. Perfect's not so perfect, what happened, you know what I mean? Like, that's the immediate reaction, is when we tell people, it's like, not really, like, you know, drinking, or we don't drink or whatever, and people are like, oh, alcoholic, got to get off of it. No, like sometimes you just grow up to a point where, like I said, for me, it's like I don't want to feel that way anymore. I don't want to like wake up, you know, being hungover, especially now, because like as we got older, I don't know about you, but we hit 30, and like I got hungover, and it was like took me like 3 days to recuperate from like what the hell, like drinking like 4 or 5 beers. I'm like, fuck that. I don't
Yeah,
want to feel like
terrible.
that.
But to I guess to contradict what you're saying though, is that originally I thought that's what it was going to be like. There are certain people that are like, I have a drink, stop being a little bitch.
Hmm.
But a majority of the time that like I've done stuff, like I've gone to like bachelor parties before, and like I've
Hmm.
been the sober one, and I'm like, yeah, I was like, whoever's got a minivan, I'll drive you guys out to the bar. Like it doesn't
Yeah.
bother me. But like those guys would come up to me throughout the night, like individually, and be like, how do you do it? I want to do that as well and not feel like I always need a drink. Granted, they usually had a couple of drinks in them, so like honesty kind of started to come out.
Right.
But like a bunch of them, are like, man, I'm envious that you could do this. I like, and I'm like, you could do it too if you want to. I'm like, it's breaking a habit. Like
Right.
I could go out and go dance with you guys like at the club or whatever, or the bar, and enjoy myself. But like I just, and it's funny too, because even like being sober now for a while, and like blacking out isn't just alcohol related either. Like I've been like hanging out with some dudes until like 4 o'clock in the morning, and then like we get up in the morning, and I'm realizing that like I'm having brown out moments too, just from like pure exhaustion.
Oh yeah.
Like you could just your memory could get kind of foggy just from just being really tired. So
I mean, yeah. I mean, Ashley and I always joke that we have early onset dementia at this point, where we just forget things randomly. Where it's just like, well, I just look at it as my brain is packed with so much fun crap that it doesn't have
yeah,
time for the boring shit.
yeah, that's definitely what it is. You're just so smart that all the smart things
No,
takes
no, no,
up
no, no,
all
no,
the
no, 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 no.
space.
And no point did I say I was smart. I said the fun stuff is packed up in here, like the things that I want to remember, the good shit, and all the bad stuff is just oozes out, and just I forget about it. That's how it works. So. All right, man. Well, we obviously we went all over the map here with the highs and the lows and stuff. Do we have an epic question to ask at the end of this one, like we've done the last couple of times, where we gotta end on a high note? Because I feel like we got a little somber there, but it was in a good way, because we talked some stuff out. But
Yeah,
what do we got?
but it's more of like I just think that men need to figure out like how to have, I guess, more in-depth
Yeah,
conversations and not be like, oh well, it's depressing. It's like, nah, it's kind of just like a real conversation that you're trying to have with your buddies to,
no,
I guess,
absolutely.
like connect and understand. So, but yeah, because it seems like everything is like super hardcore, like what do they call it, like red pill,
Yeah,
like where it's like aggressive, and then there's other ones that are just seem really like kind of almost like a pussy. So I think that there's a middle ground of being like, hey, like we could joke around and make jokes, but then there's like some serious stuff that you can kind of have a conversation with, even if it's uncomfortable. But
right. No, it's finding the balance, and that's, I think we're doing that to a T. I always want to end on an uppity note, because we talked about wet farts and something. Oh, and the llamas. Wet farts and llamas are the last 2 episodes, so we got to finish. You got to give me some kind of clip that I can put out there so we can just look as goofy as possible with this last one.
No, I don't know if it's as goofy, but is
I'll
there
find a way.
like I love Shark Tank so much,
Okay.
and like I'm like I think the dumber the idea, the better it is, because like it
Okay.
seems like stupidity or simplicity is like key. Is there one invention that you've seen where you're like, God damn it, like I really should have came up with that. How did I not figure that out? And they're like making so much money. Because on
Oh,
that show, when some person comes on with an invention and they laugh in their face, and then they're like, yeah, let's hear your sales. And they're like, oh, I've been in business for 2 years and I have $6 million in sales. And they're like, whoa, like hell yeah, dude, love it.
I
Love
got
that
I got
shit.
probably the easiest one on the planet, and I'll take it a step further. So it's the pet rock. Throwing googly eyes on a fucking rock and selling it for money, and people are dumb enough to buy that shit. And I'm sorry, I'll go even further. Where don't tell Ashley this, even though she'd probably listen to this episode. Sorry, Ashley, ahead of time. Her rock collection of like her crystals and shit, where I'm just like, oh my god. Like I just apparently I should have just gone into mines, and I'm not even looking for like gold or silver or anything. I should have just started like whacking away at some quartz and shit and been like, ooh, see this sparkly thing? It's gonna tell you what your next like 3 weeks look like, and then
Yeah,
just sell it for a shit ton of money.
but that's more like a spirituality thing rather than just like an actual like raw invention. The pet rock I'll give you, even though that one
All
kind of
right.
feels like,
Googly eyes.
yeah, it's just that was just like a people just the general public not being very smart and being like, oh, this is a good idea. But that's almost more of a fad. Like, all right,
It
so
is. All right.
the idea that pisses me
Think,
off that is
go with
post-it
yours. I'll think of one while you're talking. So go ahead.
is post-it notes.
Post-its?
Yeah, they, I
Sticky paper?
yeah, that's all it is. Somebody was like, hey, like I want something inside of this. Like that's not a bookmark. And they were like, how about we just put like a little bit of sticky on like a smaller piece of paper that you could put inside this piece of paper? And someone's like, yeah, we could probably sell like a couple of those, but like I'm trying to like think of like how much money like the post-it note company, like whatever, because I don't even know if they make anything else. They just have like the little tab ones now, and then just different size and color post-it notes. So like the fact that somebody just put a little bit of adhesive on a smaller piece of paper to stick to other pieces of paper is like I'm angry that I didn't come up with that.
I guess can I complain then that like tissues, napkins, and paper towels are all different things? Does that count? Or does that not count?
I mean I'm curious to see what the hell you're talking about, but I don't think that's like an invention.
I'm
But go
not
ahead.
saying, well, I mean, now that I'm thinking about it, maybe it could be an invention where it's like an all-in-one, like kind of like, hey, do you need napkins, tissues, and paper towels? Bam. One thing that does all three and just sell it. That could be a winning idea right there. You want to go to Shark Tank?
Yeah, and what is it?
It's a paper towel that you
But
just use as all.
okay, but that's not an invention that
That's
exists already.
totally
It
invention.
doesn't
We just call it
exist.
something different.
Yeah, but this is you want to take an invention to market. I'm saying what already exists that you see that you're like, man, I wish I would have thought of that.
Well,
You
I'm
said pet rocks, but that seems like not really an invention. It's just a fad thing.
Pet rock is absolutely an invention.
It's no. Just like how I don't believe that the animal that you think that you could beat that's the strongest is a docile llama. So
Why? What's wrong with that? I absolutely could kick a llama's ass.
yeah, you can, but it's not tough. That's like the easy way out. So that's what I'm saying. So there's
Stupid
no
llama.
Okay, I'll give you another one. Squatty potty.
Is that just like the baby like pooper thing? Squatty potty? What is?
You don't know what a squatty potty is.
I mean, I'm not a child, so no, I haven't.
Look it up on your computer right now. What a squatty potty is. How do you not know what a squatty potty is?
I don't know. I'm not like it's for kids, isn't it?
No, it's not. It's for adults.
It is.
Yeah, it's the little stool that goes under your toilet, so that way your feet are up higher. So that way it's like you're squatting when you're taking a shit. And
I was thinking of like the little.
into like a.
I thought you were talking about like the little like travel like porta potty, not porta potty, but like little toilet thingy thing, or whatever. And so it's literally just a stool for your stools.
I mean, it's just supposed to like put you in a better position to poop because you're not supposed to sit on a toilet to go to the bathroom. You're supposed to
missed my
squat.
joke. I'm really upset you missed my joke that I said.
So I was trying to Google how much Post-it notes are worth.
I said it's a stool for your stools.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Terrible dad joke, but I appreciate it. Okay. How much money do you think that Post-it notes? All right, Post-it notes are a flagship product of 3M, which I guess is a different tape company. It does not break. Post-it notes alone, the company itself generates how much in revenue annually? If you had to guess.
Post-it? I mean, offices everywhere probably use them. I'll say, pull a number on my butt. 17 million.
30 billion, it says.
30 million?
Billion with a B.
Yearly?
It says with a B. I'm reading this offline, so I mean, while 3M does not break out the exact net worth of Post-it notes alone, the company itself. Oh no, that's not true. The company itself, 3M, makes 30 billion. So, give me the number. It just keeps giving me the total amount, and this is so annoying that it won't tell me exactly what Post-it note sells.
Well, do you want to know what the Pet Rock owner did? I looked it up.
Yeah.
Gary Ross Dow, American advertising copywriter who invented the Pet Rock in 1975. Fad sold over 1.5 million units at roughly $4 each, making him a millionaire within months. That's bullshit. I could just put googly eyes on rocks.
I mean, you could try to do whatever you want to do and see.
Well, it's too late now. That's why I came up with the 3-in-1 napkin, tissue, paper towel. We got to think of a name for it though. The nap. Was it in the?
The point is that all three of them are made. They're made from like a semi. I understand that you're trying to be a dude right now, and you're like, you could just use this, like. You can wipe your ass.
Why not?
It's fine.
No.
There's a 2-ply, single-ply. Tissues are a completely different thing, which that's a funny conspiracy because one of my cousins believes that tissues actually make you sneeze more. That's why when you pull them out of the box, all those like little fibers come out. That it's actually like a conspiracy theory that that they're going to make you sneeze more. But all three of those I get are paper, but they're different types of material. So to say that there's a 3-in-1, unless it like is like 3-ply and you could pull away a ply, but then at that point, what are we doing?
We're wiping our hands, we're wiping the counter, and we're blowing our noses. That's what we're doing. 3-in-1, baby.
It's never gonna happen.
The nap issue towel. Something. It's a work in progress.
I can't build you a candy house. The sun will melt it.
I was not ready for that. Oh shit. All right, buddy. As always, it's been an absolute blast hanging out with you, talking this stuff.
Good seeing you too.
Think of a good name for not our candy house, but our 3-in-1 tissue thingy that I'll think of going forward.
Yeah, we'll shoot an infomercial for it. It'll be great.
I love it. We'll be like Slap Chop or what is it? ShamWow, whatever it is. Something, one of those things. Billy Mays here with another fantastic product
for the dead homies.
You fat ass broken, now you fat ass fix it. Oh, we're all over the place and I love it. All right, for all you out there listening, watching, anything, we love and appreciate the heck out of you. We hope you enjoyed another episode of From Drinking Buds to Thinking Buds. That'll make.
There you go. That acting's paying off. Look at that.
Oh, you son of a bitch. I'm in. All right. We'll see you guys next time.
See you.